Okay, Brian, I'd like to zoom in on the concept of autonomy because it feels like the secret sauce behind all of this resistance.
Yeah. So when people resist change, it's rarely about the new behavior, right? Deep down, it's about losing control.
Oh boy, yeah. So statements like, I don't want to eat healthier usually translate to, I don't want you telling me what to do,
Right.
right? And if you don't reframe the dynamic, you'll never make the progress you're looking for.
Exactly. So no one's actually against getting healthier, right?
Right.
Let's face it, no one's
We all
actually
do that.
against looking better, feeling better, living longer, but no one likes to be bossed around.
Yes. So here's where most people mess that up then. They try to convince their partner to change, right?
Yeah.
We're trying to convince
Right.
them,
Yeah.
win them over to our side.
And if you're trying to convince someone,
Right.
if you're trying to convince them to do anything, you're going to fail. And the reason is because logic rarely wins arguments, especially in relationships. So, Angie, you're famous for this.
I'm big on science.
Stop quoting the science, right?
Yep.
This is why, this is the study that shows you that you should join me on my walks, right? Try leading with how you feel. I feel great when I exercise. It's so beautiful out there right now. You know, I want to share that with you.
There we are, those I statements. They leave room for dialogue, not the defensiveness. I have so much more energy when I eat less sugar, for example. I feel great now. I've lost 5 pounds and it was so easy. Right? So they're listening and you can engage without this pointing finger, nagging.
Exactly. People hate being told what to do, but when you model the change, that speaks volumes and you show people how great it can be.
Amen to that. You want your partner to eat better? Cook a delicious, wholesome meal that feels indulgent. No lectures, just like, hey, taste this. Look what I made today.
I know. And you are a great cook. So this is about making the change look inviting, right? Not forced. You're extending an invitation. You're not barking out an order.
Another piece is that people are often afraid of the pain of making those big changes, like going on the big diet or working out regularly or even giving up sugar or alcohol.
Right. So setting big goals is what scares people away, right? And then they start to feel resentful because not only are you nagging them, right? But you're also asking them to do something which to them just feels overwhelming, right?
Yes. So if they're not ready for big steps, take small ones. Like start with a 10-minute walk instead of an hour-long gym session. Small steps through the steady application of simple daily habits is the best way to achieve results. And it's the cornerstone of our approach here at Little Wonders.
Absolutely. But the backdrop to all of this, Angie, is that, couples have different relationship styles, right? And I know that you've given a lot of thought about this. So maybe take us through what is the application of relationship styles on this whole change thing.
At one end of the spectrum, you see people that are best friends. They've been married forever, they do everything together, they're always together. And then you see on the other side of the spectrum, people who are growing and changing side by side, kind of running in parallel to each other.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sort of like it's like the turtle doves,
Yeah.
one end of the spectrum. And then at the other end, you have the railway tracks.
Okay. Yep.
They're going in the same direction, but they're not really
They're perfectly happy together. They're just doing their own thing.
Yeah.
Right. So those are the two sides, I would say.
Exactly. And I think that it's harder for couples who are more on the turtle dove side of the spectrum because what happens is that the one who is not changing starts to feel a little bit of fear.
Yes.
They start to think, oh, she's growing and changing, she's going to leave me behind.
Right. There can be fear in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's going to leave me behind and she's not going to like me anymore. Or the other side of that coin is, oh, she's growing and changing. I'm not going to like her anymore, right?
Right.
So whichever way you slice it, there's a whole bunch of fear in there, which gets in the way of communication, because then things start to come out sideways, right?
And it's much harder for the turtle doves.
Yeah.
So when we're on the train tracks, they can kind of do, they're appreciating each other's their differences almost in a way. It doesn't bother them as much. Where the turtle doves, it's almost their identity is in question. Like this is how it's always been with us.
Exactly. And here's a question to ask yourself. Where are you on that continuum? Are you more of a railway track type couple or are you more of a turtle dove type couple?
Yeah.